Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to go through how much you could retire on at the age of 55 with a pension pot of £300,000. So let's dive in. List of assumptions. I'm making a number of assumptions here, and the first one is that you have a pension pot of £300,000 at the age of 55 and have no other sources of income and no other savings, and that you are moving this pot into a drawdown at the age of 55. Bear in mind that the rules will be changing around this, and in the near future you won't be able to take a drawdown until the age of 57. I'm assuming that you are not taking the 25% tax-free lump sum out of your pension, correctly known as the PCLS or pension commencement lump sum. Instead, each withdrawal includes 25% tax-free income, with the rest taxed at your marginal rate. I'm using the tax rates from financial year 24-25. I'm assuming that these current marginal rates are frozen until 2028 and thereafter are increasing in line with inflation. I've done the modelling based on two different rates of average growth. First one is 3% per year and 7% per year, and these are the average rates of return that you will achieve in your portfolio after fees. The next assumption I've made is that from the age of 67, you will receive the full state pension, which is currently £11,502 per year. I've modelled based on the future value that will be based on when a 55-year-old today will be turning 67. And I've made the assumption that you would like your income to increase by 2.5% per year. You may think that that's not enough, particularly when inflation has been a lot higher than that lately, but I've used the figure of 2.5% per year increase, but only until the age of 75. I've then assumed that most of us slow down at the age of 75 and you won't be requiring your income to increase after that age. And the last assumption I've made is that you'll be living till the age of 89. How much starting income can I take? So now that we've got all the assumptions out of the way, retiring at the age of 55 and living till the age of 89, that's 34 years that you'll need your retirement income to last you for. That's a wonderfully long retirement. If you can achieve an average rate of 3% per year on your pension pot of £300,000, then your maximum starting income is around £17,450. If, however, you can achieve an average rate of 7% per year, then your maximum starting income becomes £22,100. To put this into perspective, you might have heard of the 4% rule, which is a widely known rule of thumb that tells you how much you can withdraw from your investment portfolio safely, because 4% of your portfolio should be pretty much self-sustaining. But that's on the assumption that your rate of return is around 7%, because then you've got that 3%, the difference between 4 and 7, to account for inflation as well as fees. Now, the reason that the figures I've gone through here are higher than £12,000, which is 4% of 300,000, is because it incorporates the state pension, which kicks in at age 67, and also the fact that I've stopped increasing the income in line with inflation at 2.5% from the age of 75. So if you take out the state pension and take out the flattening of the income after the age of 75 so that it keeps increasing, then the maximum amount you can withdraw in that case is around £12,000. I wanted to show you that because I suspect a lot of analysis that's done around what's the maximum amount you can take from your pension pot is based on the 4% rule, which, while useful, doesn't really give you the full picture for people who are taking a pension, taking their retirement income in the UK. Other important things to bear in mind. The modelling that I've gone through for this video has you running out of money at the age of 89. That might not be right for you. You might want to have some left over to bequeath to your loved ones. However, I do find that quite a significant number of my clients don't have anyone that they want to bequeath money to, and they ask me what's the maximum amount that they can safely spend. They tell me that they have no desire to be the richest person in the cemetery. But do bear in mind that annual returns aren't nice and linear and smooth when it comes to investing. There's a degree of volatility, and the amount of volatility in your pot, in your pension portfolio, will depend on how you've invested it. Because the analysis that I've done here doesn't take into account the possibility of a market crash just as you are retiring at the age of 55 with £300,000. If the investments in your pension suddenly dip by 20 or even 30% and you are withdrawing this amount, then your portfolio would never recover from that initial withdrawing in a falling market, and you would run out of money much sooner than the age of 89. This is something called sequencing risk. But of course, assuming that you do run out sooner than the age of 89, you still have the state pension, assuming the state pension is still around when you are that age. And so when you run out of your pension pot, that's what you would be left to live on. And bearing in mind that that's not very much, it won't go very far because the state pension right now is £11,500. Time is the most precious thing that we have. So taking that modest return of 3%, that gives you a monthly starting income of £1,454. That may be enough for you. You may be able to live really well on that, depending on your lifestyle and personal circumstances. And stating the obvious, if there are two of you and you each had £300,000 at the age of 55, then that's just short of £3,000, £3,000 net per month that you have. But at the very least, maybe these numbers are giving you a nudge towards living the life that you want to be living sooner rather than later. Time is the most precious thing that we have. So don't keep putting things off for one more year. These income levels that I've gone through don't have to be your only income. Maybe you've been wanting to have a career change. Maybe you're in a really stressful job. Or even if it's not stressful, maybe your job is making you miserable. And this gives you an idea of the sort of income that you could be taking from your pension pot and maybe other sources of savings and investments that you have. And perhaps making that career change that you've always wanted to make, or taking on part-time work, doing something completely different. I'm just making the very simple point that this doesn't have to be your only income, and 55 is very young to be having a cliff edge retirement. I don't believe in a cliff edge retirement at any age. We all need to find purpose and fulfillment every day. Hopefully these numbers are giving you that nudge to take that leap into the next chapter of your life that you have perhaps been putting off or perhaps felt that you couldn't afford. Time is the most precious thing that we have, and if you're in your 50s like me, you will be acutely aware of how time starts to speed up in the second half of our lives. Follow your dreams and take that leap. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As a reminder, if you're not already a subscriber, the YouTube algorithm will keep presenting you with my videos. It's really helpful, but it would really help me if you just take a second to click the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Until next time, Holvara Matro.